If it's actually Joe Pantoliano, I'll actually scream. Hey guys, it's your girl Laisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we're here with another reaction to Wonder Man. We're on season 1, episode 2, which is called Self-Tape. So we're kind of running with this movie theme from the sounds of things. You know, last episode was Matinee, now into this one. But digressing, last episode was really an introduction to our main character, Simon, kind of where his life is right now. He was not exactly in a great place, having a hard time holding down a job. His girlfriend has broken up with him, and it looks like he might have gotten the break at a dream role for him of playing the character of Wonder Man, but we discover that Mr. Slattery, who is one of his acting, you could say, inspirations, he believes he's just coincidentally met him in Hollywood, but we found out later on that he's in fact working for someone who seems to want to find Simon and get him back into some form of custody. So that's where we ended the episode. Ready to jump into this one and see what we learn? Let's do that. Just before I do though, please do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you'd like to catch this uncut, you can check out the uncut reaction of it on my Patreon. All right, they're out of the way. Let's get into the episode right now.
You can see how much she loves you.
Oh, she was a saint, a true saint. She always believed in me, believed in my acting.
Really? Are we acting right now?
Were you in a hospital show?
South Shore Hospital, yeah. First 3 episodes.
Yes, with Joe Pantoliano.
Damn, don't remember your name though, huh?
I've had some low points, some bits I'd rather forget, but that's all behind me now.
Still talking to her? Huh.
Yeah, she always said my acting could be important, vital.
His luggage.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Whoa, why are the feds? Hello, hi. Oh, God. That man is 1,000 years old. Are you okay?
We're not together.
Right? She's like, please don't tackle me, footman. Football style to the ground, please.
Our base in Kuwait was attacked. I did that.
It was a role.
Pretty scary stuff.
It's called acting.
He's so proud of himself. He's like, I did that.
Sure about that? Why are we going through all this again? I had my trial, I went to jail.
I never finished your sentence.
It's not my fault.
No one cares.
Then why am I here? If that's the case.
Is that you go back to prison and finish your sentence. I like that option. And then you have option 2, which is you do a little work for the Department of Damage Control.
Option 2, thanks.
Really? You didn't even hear what the job was. Never sign up too quickly.
This is a small town. You'll know what's real. You need to find out what projects are coming up, something juicy.
Look at these. Like, I'm giving you your homework since I'm the professional here.
Simon Williams would be particularly excited about
That is a great headshot.
How in the hell did Ruth Bakshi call me about your audition for Wonder Man?
How did that happen?
That's kind of a funny thing.
No, it's actually not funny.
It's kind of funny.
I'm so mad, I don't even want to hear it.
You don't sound mad. You sound annoyed at most.
It's just something about this role. It feels like
It's made for you?
like the one, like it was made for me. You know what I mean?
Actually, I don't.
She loved me, didn't she?
Simon, stop.
He's damn good at his job. What can he say?
You better deliver for Ruth. You want her on your side.
Cause she tight with Von Kobe.
Because she's a great casting director.
But yes, she's tight with Van Kovac. Yes, a win. It's a staged win, but a win nonetheless.
You never judge.
Please no notes this time.
Who's it? Would you?
He's such a perfectionist.
Shut up, not yet.
Ooh, lighting.
Boy or girl or my mother or that odd poetry teacher.
Like, I hate that he's overanalyzing himself. Like, it's not a bad trait because obviously that's how you get better is looking and seeing where you can improve. But it's like his perfectionism. Breathe it out, bro. What did homie tell you? The very real acting advice. Turn your brain off. Just go with go with your gut, because clearly your gut does well.
Yeah, I like that. Manetti.
His girlfriend was like his little assistant. I know, bro. Uh-oh. Rein it in. Rein it in. I really wish I understood how his powers work. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, vibration. Okay, there's been vibrations twice. Does he not notice this? Bro, you're gonna bring down this whole building. Okay, now you're homeless.
The Department of Damage Control considers Simon Williams an
Then why don't you just grab him? You could.
And eat it fast. And I think we've wasted enough time
We
trying to...
need proof. Okay.
When you enter his place, find his computer and place this right on top. Why aren't you texting him back?
I wouldn't want him to think I'm just sitting around.
Yeah,
all day
like,
waiting for
hello,
someone
I'm
to
supposed to
text
be like
me.
a very successful actor. Can you trust him? He clearly already got Simon to do the first 3 steps. Calm down. Slattery's like, I could do this all
We
day.
waited long enough.
I'll handle the role of Trevor Slattery if you don't
Right?
mind.
Like, he can handle it. Been acting longer than you've been alive. Jeez Louise.
I have crossed the room. I've reached my phone. Intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Be a chance I could manage.
Just say, see you in 20.
I would never text. a
Thank
sentence
you. Can you
fragment.
let him be him?
Meeting is set.
This is why you're not doing the job, sir.
How far that little candle throws his beams, so shines a good deed in a naughty world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shakespeare.
Right.
It's not your fault, sir. He's an uncultured cur.
Okay, so where do we go?
Oh, he wanted the laptop.
Self-tape studio, not far from there.
And what, pray tell?
Did that really happen though, where he blew the wall? It feels like he did. I don't know.
Keep an eye out for anything suspicious.
I think I can handle that.
Trevor, oh, we're up.
Oh, gotta go. Uncle Vanya?
Uncle Vanya is the best you could come up with? You didn't have to say a name.
His 3rd generation from the Bronx. His father always wanted to own his own restaurant. He was a great cook. And he took Corey to the car lot.
What are the lines?
Not sure how you'll convey all this with, would you like to charge it?
Thank you. I'm like,
This place is crazy.
Sure beats the old dungeon.
anything would be better than prison. That's true.
Coronation Street. You play Ron
Y'all,
Jenkins, right?
so children, those things up there are called VHS tapes.
Every Brit did their stint. The producers were thrilled to get me after my runners lived.
That is true. Everyone and their dog's been on Coronation Street who's a Brit actor from, like, I'd say at least 25 years ago. Kind of like everybody in the acting industry in Hollywood has been on Law and Order.
She always believed I'd make a great performer one day. Have a positive impact on the world.
Same story he was telling the lady on the plane.
How is it that no matter who I bring in here, that should be whom, by the way, whom I...
Oh, he's gonna get mad, isn't he?
It's never been this hard to do a tape in my life. Ruth Bakshi is never going to work with me again.
Ruth Bakshi,
Yes.
casting director on Wonder Man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You have any friends we could ask?
No.
You've been out here for
Really?
how long now?
8 years.
8 years. You don't have any friends.
I mean, I've heard LA's like that, though.
He had my character killed off, walked away with the lead role and the People's Choice Award, the most promising newcomer.
But he's not bitter,
He owes me.
does he? If it's actually Joe Pantoliano, I'll actually scream. I love it!
Simon, Joe Pantalia-NOPE,
Yes.
Joe Pantoliano, Simon Williams.
Everybody calls me Joey Pants.
Yeah, of course.
Aw.
Hang on a sec. Gotta give the tree some light. You know,
That's some
Art
rich shit
Linkletter
right there.
taught me a crucial lesson about show
Just need to open up the skylight for my in-home tree.
Bought in Venice way before Arnold. Made a disgusting amount of money.
Thank you for sharing.
Just disgusting.
Thank you.
You guys hungry? My chef be happy to make you something.
Well, we're not really here to socialize. We're on a
I'm
time
rich. By the way, I'm rich. Did you notice that I'm rich? Just want to let you know that I'm rich.
Favor, we got some duck prosciutto, some roasted peppers
That
from
view
my
is
garden.
$1 million for sure.
People don't appreciate all the work that goes into the audition process. I'm offer only, so it's hard for me to relate.
Okay, Joe, we get it. You're rich and successful. Got it.
I was worried about you, man. That was some dark shit.
Yeah, just want to make sure he's still doing terribly. I love that Joe Pantoliano is always an ass, no matter what he's playing.
You got a tree in the foyer. I'm just trying to be polite. I'm in here code switching to everything.
Just be normal, okay? Can you play that? Normal man. The breakdown is go method.
But is it Simon if he goes method?
Dr. Jack Kronk, that was your character.
All right, lovely. Before you stole the lead from me.
Boys, can we not fight about this? Can we do the audition real quick? Oh my God, they're getting kicked out of this house. Oh my God.
You told me that you couldn't handle the pressure of being the lead.
Homie's like, this is some tea.
Network had enough, killed you off.
Can we please tape this audition already?
Thank you.
already?
Let's do this quickly before someone gets mad and throws us out of this very lovely house.
I've been lucky. Hell, if I was British, they would have knighted me by now. Can I,
So humble.
the most important thing about acting is sincerity. Once you learn to fake that, you got it made. Acting, it's just a job.
It is.
But the minute you try to get something else out of it, fame, validation, getting even with your parents, whatever, you're screwed.
He ain't lying.
Dig in that hole, and you'll never get out.
He's not lying. He's absolutely right about that.
To finally be done with it all
Oh.
must be nice. Not have to worry about your weight or your.
Can we
appearance.
shoot the audition quickly before y'all get to fisticuffs?
Don't pretend to be happy for him, Joe Pantoliano.
His whole
You
name.
think you're being nice, but you're actually condescending as shit. Do you know that?
He does.
You suck, Joe Pantoliano. Baby's Day Out is garbage. Even that dumb baby couldn't make you funny.
It's a calling. It's the single most consequential thing anyone could ever do with their life.
For you. But for Joe, it's clearly a job.
What's this I'm hearing about a new Von Kovac movie, and why am I not meeting on it?
Can you believe that guy?
I can. You're a good friend, though, Simon. That might have been a career killer, but you're a good friend. I'm not saying we should have told up Joe, but couldn't we have done it after we did the audition? Like, okay.
Just ignore the mess, okay?
Okay, it is real.
Like, maybe it's an invitation. Maybe I'm just good at hiding it. You can trust me with your secrets. Feel free to tell me more, that kind of thing.
Might be worth a shot.
Much more simplistic. We like this. I love that Slattery's not necessarily telling him not to be him. He's just saying, like, direct your energy elsewhere, because that is probably going to be less intense than what you do now.
No, I don't judge. Maybe I'm just good at hiding it.
Nailed it. Look at that. You got Slattery choked up.
Do I send it?
You'd be crazy not to.
You think it's good?
Hell yeah.
Transcendent.
Ooh, yeah, you got him, his bottom lip trembling and everything. You got it in you, Simon. You just got to just get out of your head.
Yo, Trev, you like pepperoni?
Mm-hmm. It was an accident. There was an earthquake just right here. It stands out, bro. Termites.
Yeah? Pepperoni?
Yeah, let's just go eat.
I'll call it in.
Excellent. Listen, my guy Slattery has seen all the things of Iron Man, all the Avengers, and went to the secret city of Shang-Chi. This is nothing. This is actually nothing. But now he's aware of the fact that if he can do that, he can probably split you in half like a apple. So, all right. So yeah, we got another cute episode. Again, we're just kind of diving more into the world of Simon and who he is and kind of the way that he works. But now we have the backstory on how Slattery got involved with all of this. He's been, well, as far as we know, he was contacted by the Department of Damage Control. I'm not familiar with them, but I know I saw online that someone said that it was also featured in, was it Spider-Man maybe? I can't remember. One of the other Marvel movies or shows it was referenced in, but it wasn't like a big thing. But I haven't heard it. You know, it's not as big as like S.H.I.E.L.D. and some of the other big Marvel universe types of agencies that I know of. So this is new to me, but my guess is it has something to do with, you know, obviously superheroes or those who are powered and making sure that they, if they are by their description, by the department's description, unstable and dangerous, which is what they're labeling on Simon right now. I can completely understand why they would take interest and want to make sure that they can do what they can do to minimize damage, not only to property and surroundings, but obviously to people. And they're not really, this show isn't really, although he said 13 years post-prison, didn't serve. So I'm thinking this must be happening after Shang-Chi then, right? This is probably after the events of Shang-Chi. That's the last time we would have seen Slattery. But all that to say that, you know, throughout the Marvel movies, one thing I've loved about the TV shows in particular, they've really been tackling the idea of the aftermath of all these big things that happen, like in the Avengers movies, for example, right? There was the Accord, what was it called? Why can't I remember the name of the wherever Wanda's supposed to be from, that Accord. fired, and a bunch of other things that they've tried to put in place because, of course, with these big battles that happen, yes, the Avengers saved the day, but New York was irreparably destroyed, right? Even in the Netflix, was it Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and those shows, they talked about, how New York was trying to deal with the damage and the money that was lost and the property and the lives and all those things that were affected because of these massive events that happened in these movies. And so it only makes sense that there would be some type of agency developed at some level, whether it's governmental or private, to deal with what happens when you have someone who's powered and their powers are more destructive than not, and they don't know how to keep a lid on them or they can't control them, right? So it kind of makes sense now that they brought in, and again, why they bring in Slattery of all people is crazy, but I somewhat get it, because if Slattery was able to pull off the role of, as we saw from those older movies, the Iron Man movies, he first played a terrorist, and then of course he played the Mandarin, and then he's very good at being very convincing and being all consuming in a role to a point where everyone believes him, including people who are pretty smart. And so I get why, considering that they said the reason that they're doing this is because they want to just take Simon in, but they don't have proof that he is unstable and dangerous, to which I'm like, so in effect, what you're saying is that he's not really unstable and dangerous at this point, right? That's what I'm getting. Of course, I could be wrong. Maybe there are other things that they believe Simon is tied to, but they don't have any way to correlate it. But you know what I'm saying? Effectively, you're saying that because this man has the potential to be really dangerous, you want to wait till he does something or catch him in doing something or create a situation where he will do something so that you have the justification to grab him. That's what I'm getting. There's another word for that some of us are a little bit more familiar with in our time, and that is profiling. That's really what they're doing. Now, in this case, thankfully, it's not for racial reasons, but the point is, they're profiling Simon, right? Because from the sounds of things, he hasn't lost control, at least not a lot. And I mean, what we saw in the apartment here, that was pretty bad, but in the grand scheme, it wasn't the worst thing, right? We just had a little bit of property damage. Now, had someone been around, had the building been structurally not sound, that could have been a lot worse. But you get my point. By and large, it looks like Simon's not losing it every other day, right? So why are they so interested in waiting for him to slip up? What are they looking for, right? Is it that they're trying to trigger him, or they're trying to see if there was something that happened and he covered it up? That's what I'm figuring out. But anyway, so now we know at least why they got Trevor involved. They want Trevor because they knew that because Trevor's an actor and also very good, as I said, at really getting into these characters and making them very believable. They thought, A, it's going to be common ground for him and Simon, so Simon will likely open up to him more, but B, because of Trevor's background, they know he's very good at doing what needs to be done to make it very believable, right? So I really love that they showed that within minutes of him sitting down with option B versus going back to prison, he was like, okay, well, you need to give me a reason to meet him. I need bait. I need to set this up. I need this to be believable. I'm going to, his mind was already building and constructing the world, the fake world, the lie, the con, if you will. But I really believe that what we heard him saying to the lady on the plane, and then even some of his words that he always says to Simon, he genuinely has a love for and a passion for acting and clearly a talent for it. And for him, even though, yes, right now this is a con of what seemingly is an innocent man, it's also a playground for Trevor, right? This is what he loves to do. He's very, very good at it. So it kind of sucks that it's being used in this way right now, but it shows though that he's got a real talent for not just being an actor, but world building as well. But anyway, all that aside, now we have that understanding of why it is Trevor. And we see in this episode that Simon's newest obstacle is to film a self-tape or to film an audition tape to send in, because the casting director for what will eventually be Wonder Man did like him, but she's like, I need to see a bit more. I want to see how he does with a different type of script. So get him to send in a tape, and then we'll further assess. And so as usual, I love that when Simon's agent calls him, she doesn't get mad, but the only reason she didn't get mad at him for, taking the information from her computer is because he got a call back, right? And so I just love the kind of the banter there, because she's clearly fed up with Simon in so many levels, but it's clear that she does know his talent and she does believe in him. He's just like her problem child, basically, as far as getting casted and staying casted. But, she knows he's good, right? She knows that he's got the talent and she wants him to have the opportunities. So I do kind of love their little banter where she really wants to scold him for going behind her back, but at the same time, Simon's like, yeah, well, you're not calling me because you would have called me if it was nothing, right? It was a nothing burger, you would have just yelled at me, but you're calling me because I killed it, right? So, as I said, it's kind of sad that he has this fixation issue, but the talent is clearly there. And that's, I think, why even his agent, Janelle, can't just sweep him to the side. But anyway, we see for him trying to do this tape that he goes like, as we saw in episode 1, my guy fixates, he overthinks, he spirals quite easily, and he does the same thing. Like, this is literally, he has 3 pages. It's 3 pages of dialogue they gave him. And he is talking about backstories of this waiter, 3rd generation. Like, sir, what? Huh? You're a waiter. You're not even the lead. You talk to the lead, but you're a waiter. That's it. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking? Like, this, bless his heart. I love how vivid his imagination is. It's just not being channeled in the right spaces. And so anyway, we see he spends like way too much time filming, refilming, editing, actually going in and actively changing and editing things as he's watching the review video of his video. So it's just like, he's never going to get this thing done. And so he smartly reaches out for help, right? He's like, okay, I've got Trevor's number. He's a seasoned professional. Let me see if he can help me out with this because I'm clearly too much in my head. And so I got to give him points for that because that takes a lot for an overthinker to recognize they need outside help to stop the madness, to stop the wheel in their heads. So that's a big step for Simon. But anyway, we see that, of course, Trevor had no doubt that at some point he was going to get reached out to again, and he schools again this agent, this damage control guy. He's, he thinks he knows that he's very impatient is the point. He wants results. He thinks that, just get in there and push this guy and make him flip out so we can get what we want. And Slattery's like, bro, you hired me for a reason. Let me do it my way. Like, let me understand him. Like, I'll get it. Like, I'll get what you need, but you need to let me do my job. And so that's what kind of gets them meeting again, Simon and Trevor, that is. And understandably, well, actually, we have to get to the damage because that's a big thing. So while Simon's spiraling over trying to do this audition tape, he looks into his, his photos and he sees videos of his ex. And it looks like she was the girl that used to read lines and help him do his audition tapes. And she probably was someone who helped to scale him back when he would do exactly what he's doing right now as well. So of course that brings up that, it's been a pretty rough week for him, between losing the job and now, again, remembering that she literally just moved out and was planning to do so when he was at work, the emotions that I think he suppresses a lot. Like, that's the other thing about Simon I've noticed is that a lot of that lack of awareness and that hyperfixation, I think, is also a mechanism for him not to have to deal with his emotions, because we still don't know anything about his background. All we've seen so far is that he used to go to the movies with who I presume was his father, and they seem like they had a great relationship. And I thought that when Trevor brought up his mom, it might have triggered a family discussion, but they didn't go there. But anyway, coming back, I do think that Simon represses a lot, and that is probably part of the trigger for whatever triggers his powers, because we see as soon as he sees his girlfriend, and obviously the memories of everything that has happened comes up, and clearly probably the hurt and the pain and the upset about that start to come up, rather than just letting himself feel it, right? Like, maybe he wanted to cry in that moment, maybe he wanted to yell. Rather than doing that, we see he just starts hyperventilating, which to me is because he was trying to suppress, but it was coming up. And then we see, like, so far of his powers, what we've seen, his eye color changes, starts with red, and then it seems to go to kind of a purple, and then the shaking. And it almost looked like this time they gave us way more detail, because before we just saw the surrounding shaking. This time we actually saw the undulation through his skin. Like, it's like the vibration was literally going through his entire system. So I'm assuming it's some type of radiating power, right? Something that he's able to do, maybe a sonic power of some kind, because we don't see anything coming out of him, like no light or electricity or anything like that. So my guess is it's more of like a sonic type of power, a wave that he can emit. But anyway, it gets to a point where he literally has a burst of it, and it damages the crap out of where he was sitting. And he just puts a sheet over that thing and calls it a day, which I'm like, the fact that nobody said anything in this apartment building, but I'm like, I keep forgetting that, the US is a strange place, especially the LA. But anyway, coming back to, the adventures of Simon and Trevor. So they try to film this thing. They go to Trevor's house, doesn't work out. And then they end up going to Joe Pantalia-NOPE. I love it. They just threw the most random cameo ever in the show. I love it personally. I think it was really smart. But anyway, they end up there, and Joe Pantalia-NOPE just playing a hilarious version of himself, where he's just this completely self-absorbed, high and mighty man who doesn't lose any opportunity at all to talk about how rich, famous, successful, and like privileged he is, right? And so anyway, we see that before they even get to film the audition, which is what they're supposed to be doing. Joe Pantoliano, and of course he brings up the fact that he and Trevor worked together in the past and that Trevor was a failure and that's the reason why he lost his job. And I mean, the fact that Trevor didn't say much when Joe talked about him being high and not performing well because of that, like the silence that that Trevor gave tells me that there was probably some truth to what Joe said, because we heard that, Slattery's only been sober for 13 years at this point. I say only, that's actually very significant, but I just mean, considering he's in his 70s, it's a short time compared to how long I think he was using. But digressing, I think there was some truth there, but it's just the way that Pantoliano was really using it as a way to crap on him, like rather than having empathy for the fact that he was going through something at that time, there was more of a condescending, like, oh, you were on drugs, oh, you were not able, so I mean, it wasn't our fault, like, you had to go, and now look at you, poor you. It's a good thing you gave up acting though, because it's just a job, right? He just was so condescending to, Slattery's entire existence, really, but also just trying to say that the reason he was so successful is because Hollywood is nothing. The acting's just the job, right? So when he says all these things in front of Simon, there's twofold reasons, I think, for his reactions. One is that the condescension overall is just gross, right? No one likes to be talked down to, no matter who you are. So his condescension towards, I mean, somewhat low-key Simon, but more for Trevor, like that immediately was a turn off for Simon. But then the second thing is when he just diminished the art of acting. And I said in the episode that I really appreciate that. I do think what he said about, we have to make sure that you remember that acting is in fact a job, in the sense of it can't give you validation, can't give you self-love, it can't give you worth. Like those are all things that have nothing to do with this. Like it's not to say these things can't be nice, like sprinkles on those things, but you need to find these things outside of the job. And there's way too many people in Hollywood, and not just in acting, but in singing and other things, who look to those things to fulfill things that they have to get elsewhere in life, either through their own work or through love, connection, community, service, etc. So anyways, without getting into a whole sidetrack about that, I think that part was very sound advice, but the rest was really just crapping on a beautiful industry that I personally love. Like, I'm not an actor, but I love what actors do. I love movies, TV, all those things. So anyway, so those two things kind of trigger him because, much like Trevor, Simon, acting is very important to him. This world that's created through acting in film and cinema and in TV, like it's something very meaningful to him. So to hear someone who has gotten lucky effectively in the industry just crap on it because other people, crap on it when other people would die to be where he is, more for his opportunities than the money and success. I completely understand why Simon was like, no, I have to say something. So that's what he did. He ended up telling Joe Pantoliano off, even though he didn't get his audition tape done first. But he told him off. He said, girl, you are way too condescending. Like, screw you. How dare you talk to him that way? You're a condescending jerk. I don't like you, and not all your movies were good. So bye, right? I mean, it was a very code switched telling off, to be fair, but still. So I do like that he did that because it showed that he does care about Trevor already. Like, he respects Trevor, he respects the help that Trevor's giving him, and he stood up for Trevor when there was really no benefit for him doing it at that point, right? And especially in Hollywood, where typically it's dog eat dog and everyone scrapes for the next opportunity. Like, it didn't do Simon any favors to effectively step on Joe Pantoliano's foot. I don't think Joe took it that seriously from the looks of things, but you get my point. Like, it very easily could have been Joe calling everyone he knows and saying blacklist this guy, right? So the fact that he took that risk for Trevor was really like a sweet and very loyal moment. And I think it did affect Trevor because, of course he was looking at this as a job, but I think that moment really signaled potentially a shift in how he feels about this whole thing with Simon and Simon as well. So anyway, that's what happened at Joe Pantoliano's house. And then eventually they do film the audition. And I really love that, once again, Trevor gives him a good advice about, okay, I love that you have all this energy and all this creativity, but rather than spin out to this infinite world of maybes, why don't we just take a look at what's in front of us? And then, like you said, maybe look between the lines of what's on the page versus trying to build out a backstory in a world that may or may not exist. Here's what's in front of you. What can you piece together? What kind of nonverbal or physical cues can you throw in to build in the story between these lines? That's probably where the magic will be. And it works, right? Because I feel like my guy Simon, he needs to think, right? Like, the overthinking mind must think. So giving him a more focused place to put that really seemed to work. And then we see that when he finally did the lines, they were simple, they were short, but his delivery, his body language, everything was so good that we even see Trevor's bottom lip tremble a bit because he's like, damn, this kid's good. Like, it's here. I see the magic, right? So I love that. As I said in the episode, I do love that Trevor has recognized that Simon's way of doing things isn't necessarily a problem. It's how he's applying it that's the issue. And that's so helpful when you have a good mentor who doesn't necessarily say, hey, your thinking is wrong or the way you are is wrong, more than just saying, okay, how can we channel this really good ability that you have in a way that's going to be more beneficial to you or what you're trying to do? Because that is easier to do that's easier to do and more likely to have success than telling someone to try to change something entirely about the way that they think. Right? So that's basically what happened in the episode, with the exception of course, Slattery seeing evidence of the power and handling that well, because he clearly did not want to see a reemergence of it, especially directed at him. But yeah, the evidence is technically there, but whether or not Trevor's going to report that right away, I'm interested to see. So yeah, another good episode. I like how they're kind of slowly building things up as far as us understanding these main characters more and actually caring about where they're coming from. And I am definitely looking forward to seeing a little bit more about Simon's backstory. Like, the powers are intriguing to me, but I really want to know more about him. Like, the way he's treating these powers is very interesting to me. It doesn't seem like it's like he's aware of them and yet he's not, right? He's not freaked out about the fact that he blew a hole in his wall, but at the same time, he didn't seem to want to do anything to stop the powers from coming over him. So there's just something interesting about the way that it's playing out so far, and I'm more intrigued to find out about that. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.